So very quick, we're kind of out of time here, but we're going to do a real quick breakdown of Enoch Ricker's fight this weekend. Some things that he could have done a little better, where he missed a couple chances. I'm not really friends with Tyler or anything like that. Not with those groups. So we're not going to really talk about Tyler stuff. He did fine. He won, so good for him. With Enoch and stuff, we're going to go over a couple things that could have changed the fight for him, possibly, if things went a little bit different. One, when they first went in there, even when they were standing, which I'm not going to focus on the boxing because there was really no boxing in the fight, so no reason to really focus on that. But when you go to throw a right hand, you obviously don't want your right foot to go forward in this position so that you're standing and take the right haymaker bitch slap in the face. So that's not good. Obviously, you want to move forward with your step, get some straight punches, and go down the pipes. And then Tyler kind of ran at him like this, kind of wild, crazy. And Enoch turned and ran into the cage, hit the cage. Tyler grabbed him, picked him up, did a great kind of side suplex, smashed him on the ground, and started beating the crap out of him with some elbows. And looked like it was about to be done at that point. Then Tyler actually lifted Enoch up, going for an armbar or something, and picked him up out of that turtle position. Enoch actually didn't make the mistake. He lifted him up. So then, at that point, Enoch kind of exploded out of it. He got on top, and he was kind of in the guard. He was trying to punch up, and he decided he's going to go for a heel hook. And Enoch doesn't have bad heel hooks. He's won some fights with heel hooks. Again, for the 10,000th time, people, the leg you're breaking is not the issue. Just like if you were doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you're going for the shoulder lock, it's the side control first. It's the position first. It's not the leg you're breaking that's going to make the escape. That's not going to win or lose. If you've got all day to break it, you're eventually going to break it. It's the other leg escaping and not being controlled, not monitoring the other leg, that allows the escape. If I'm trying to break their left leg, which he was, it's the right leg that's moving and turns. So he allowed Tyler to spin and turn and get his right leg free, in which case he could put it on his butt and kick out, run a man out, and be gone. So a couple things on that situation. Let's say I've got Larry's leg here. Okay, so he's here, and he fell back. And for one, I hate falling back. I keep telling you guys to go sideways so that you don't have to deal with that. Control this leg, control this hip. Now when the guy tries to get up, but anyway, come around here and watch this right here. If I was going for it, again, this grip here, you don't go here and pull this way. Do not do that. Stop doing that, people. That gives him the answer. Hey, do you think you might ought to roll that way? Yes, so he rolls that way. Boom. And it gets out, and that's what happens. So, again, better grip is here. And then take your back backwards. This is not telling him to roll. If he won't, here, roll. See? It's not going to be the same. But again, take these feet when you're going for that, and try to control that leg so that as he's trying to go, that you don't let that leg go. Try to keep that hook in there. Cross your ankles if you have to and hold that leg. This leg over here is the problem. If the guy manages to get to his knees and you have this position right here, okay, now Enoch went on and rolled with him. Once you start to roll and you know that you're both rolling like this, there's no reason to be trying to hold this heel hook, okay? So at the point that we start rolling, I'm going to go to a straight, and I'm going to stop. So we start to roll. I'm going to push my hips up, and then I'm not going to roll anymore. I'm going to come down with my hips and switch that grip. Notice that when I did, I put my palm here, okay? So with my palm in this grip, if he tries to roll, see, it's locked up. Makes it more difficult. And I just want to come to my head and then push my hips down. So if I was here, and I was trying to go for the heel lift, and the guy, I did everything wrong, he got his control. Once I went here, I would want to roll, get my grip, and then be here. If he rolled again, I would stop right there. Boom, and just flatten and try to break the leg right through there. So those are a couple things. The grip, number one, go backwards. Don't try to roll to this. This is the direction he wants to go. So don't motivate him to go to the correct direction. Monitor the other leg. Once he starts spinning, two things are going to happen. He's going to spin out of the heel hook, or you're going to somehow set it and tear his knee up and hurt his career. So switch to the straight ankle and go straight through it. You're going to have a better grip. Get your palm on that shin to stop the rotation, slow it down, and stop that momentum and drive straight through. So those are better on leg ups. The big one, his best chance to win was the triangle. He had the triangle. Basically, a couple major ways to do a triangle. One is to stay 90 degrees, spine to spine. A lot of Brazilian people do that. And pull the head down, and that's fine. So when he was in this position, and he got it, he grabbed his leg correctly. He had his arm across correctly. He had everything. Now, thing is, Tyler kept his chin down very good. And he really was more on Tyler's head. So he already should have known that this is a bad position. So when he had this, he actually would have wanted to take the time to push Tyler's head out, letting that in there. So he may have wanted to hold that and let that go and work that position and get that there. He may have wanted to underhook so he could have pulled Tyler forward. Okay, at that position there when he's holding his chin, he may have wanted to hip around, open that up, and get in there and get a better grip. So he had that control. But he needed to push that head over and not let that head get locked down. If that head was that locked down, you'd really want to kind of turn, and even from this triangle position here, focus more on the arm bar and less on the triangle, and just bring your knee in and bring that arm that way, okay? If Tyler tried to post up from there, then he could have grabbed that leg, broke him down, and at that position, switched, controlling his leg on here. Now, he didn't choose to do any of those variations of straight. He chose to go 90 degrees. That's great. That's my preferred way to do it. Most of the high S&M people turn 90 degrees. But 90 degrees is 90 degrees. It's not 120, not 140, not 180. So the main reason you underhook somebody's leg is either they're up in a kneeling position and you're trying to turn yourself 90 degrees. Be good. So you turn yourself 90 degrees, or more importantly is when they're going to stand up and slam you, and so you underhook that leg to keep them from slamming you down on the ground. But Tyler was sprawled. He was flat. Was not trying to pick him up. He actually wasn't doing much of nothing but laying there, and it was looking good for a minute. But Enoch reached way, way, way back, pulling himself way past 90. Tyler's head was already high, not down and tight. So as he pulled, he was actually pulling Tyler out the back. He had his arm across, causing a choke a little bit. He was pulling Tyler's right arm across. He let it go on his own. Let it go, took both hands and reached behind him and pulled. And then as Tyler's hand got free and he started posturing, Enoch went to set up, and when he did, Tyler's head popped right out the back. So when he was in this position here, and he had this locked up, Tyler sprawled, and then Enoch starts pulling. And he has this arm here first. And he pulls himself way, I've got it even deeper than he did. Yeah, you're okay? Yeah, so I had it deeper, so that's okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay, you okay? Okay, so put your chin down more. All right, so he's here, and he pulls. Stay on your belly more. Get on your belly. Yeah. So he pulls, and then when he lets his hand go. And so they end up, because Enoch's hips are not in the proper direction facing that way, he's more this way. His knees are more here. Now Tyler's hand can go that way. So when he does, Enoch pulls, and he's pulling this way. And then when Tyler starts to set up, Enoch goes to set up, and Tyler was able to pop out and come in and throw some punches, okay? So when he got to that position here, and he was sprawled out, in reality, he would have done better. Go ahead and sprawl down to get in this position and get that angle down on the tip and drag him on out in that position there and get there. The safest, most consistent, easiest thing that he could have done once he sprawled out was just to go ahead and hold this arm so that he wasn't going anywhere, and then just worry about choking here. Again, if you okay? When he had his head down like this, and he had this tight, when he knew that head was down in that position there, again, if nothing else, push the arm across and work it, because you've got a good control on the shoulder here. So you can just take this one here and roll it into the shoulder lock also. All right. If he goes to punch him with his arm or whatever here, okay, control that arm work that shoulder lock, work there, or pass. Try to go ahead and take this arm over in that position there, okay? Biggest thing is you can't force the round peg in the square hole, okay? The chin was down. He should have been able to tell the hamstring wasn't biting into the carotid very good, so he's going to have to make that adjustment. He's got to take time to push that head up, punch the head up, re-bite that grip. No reason to continue to maintain that leg. If the guy's sprawled out, he's not going to pop from the sprawl and pick you up and slam you. So stay on the side, hold the arm, or get back in front of him even. Don't get wrapped up in the triangle. If the triangle's there, beautiful. If it's not, the shoulder locks to the arm bars, even switching to the other arm, maybe trying to pull out a Kimura or something on the other side, but switching his leg all the way over. What I'm talking about there is that when he was here, the Tyler sprawled completely out, and he was here, is like bringing this arm in and then trying to come around and attack either this one, attack for the hammer lock, or bringing this one underneath it, but trying to go ahead and get a top position where if nothing else, he could go to pounding on him by going ahead and attacking on top of the sprawl versus doing something that allowed him to pop out and be on the bottom again. Then, when he come out, the turtle position, he just give it to him. He just came and like we were in class. He's like, oh, I'm just going to sit here. And then he just let him come around and get his hooks in. And then well, first Tyler got his head too high. And so he had it for a second. But when you guys get it, if you get the head and the guy's too high, that's beautiful. But you need to turn it sideways and get your head in here and get him locked sideways. Okay, then don't just pull him. You've got to tripod up, get some weight on there, and then you've got to kick your legs free and either attack for the neck crank or there. You can't stay on your knees and keep that angle so that when his head pops free, he's on your back, flattens you out and chokes you. Got to get your hips up and get them hooks out. Okay, so don't pull straight. One hand pushes, one hand pulls. Twist that head. Drive with the side of your head into his neck and jaw. Try to get his head pinned down. Get that angle, and then kick your hooks off. So let's see that one more time. So this is what he went for. He had his head, okay? Now once he got here, he needed to find that angle to get that in there. Now he needed to get up. Now right here, he's got that head stuck. He's got to kick those hooks off and bring him around where he can attack in north-south, or he can just try to drive over the head. But he stayed on his knees. He left the hooks in, and then he actually tried to roll. He kind of went like he was going to try to maybe kick off, but he didn't tripod it with his elbows, bring in, get a good base. He didn't stand up first. He just kind of went like this and then fell over on his back. If you're going to fall over on your back and you know the guy's going to choke you, again, try to, as you're rolling, be scooting your shoulders down to his hip. Don't stay up high. Try to get low. Already be protecting, try to get 2 for 1. And try to get the arm on the other side of your head. If it's his right arm, on this side. If it's his left arm, on this side. And don't give that up. So if he gets me broke down, as we're rolling, I'm already needing to be trying to scoot and get to this position. Not here. This is not good. This is right. Okay, so when you got that choke in on him, okay, don't worry about this one. You got to get, he went like this. You want to get that 2 for 1. You need to fall with the stem side up, get your shoulders to the mat, make that bridge, and slip that shoulder down. You got to look into the choke. He's choking you. You fall to that stem side, and you got to turn and look into it, and you got to drive those shoulders to the mat. Try to get that hip between you and him, and then you can work yourself out and try to do that. The main thing I would say, as soon as you start to roll, before everything's tight, before he hits his back, is be curling up, sucking down, dragging yourself down, and try to get your shoulders down here where you can work. Now, my pet peeve, go back and watch the tape. Guys, he crossed his ankles on the rear naked choke. Even if he was going to go out, even if he was going to tap, break his ankles first, so at least he remembered you. Jeez. So he had the guy has here, he rolled him over. He got Enoch in the choke, and he crossed his ankles. Okay, boom. Lock that in, and at least break his legs, break his ankles first make him pay for that, if nothing else. Very simple. Boom, block it in, ridge through it. Go back and look, his feet are just like that. Very easy. I could have finished that. So just picking a few of the main things that we saw that should have been done differently. I would say those. Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate it.